You see, I'm a little bit worried about Eminem's new album, The Death of Slim Shady, after he dropped the first single to it, which was Houdini, that dropped last Friday. So today I'll kind of discuss what I think this new album is going to be like and the reason that I'm really worried about it. So let's jump straight into this.
If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description.
Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 10 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and it recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop, so make sure to do that. So we know that Eminem is dropping a new album this summer called The Death of Slim Shady, Coup De Grâce, or I was corrected by somebody under the last video in some French pronunciation that I can't do, and we thought that, at least I thought, that there was a possibility that it would be dropping last Friday, so May 31st. It kind of hinted at it on social media, but it turned out to just be a single. Of course, I'm very grateful that we got a new Eminem single. It's called Houdini, and a lot of people have critically spoken about this already. Now, the thing with this song is that when the first time you put it on and you kind of listen to the first 30 seconds, you're immediately seeing the problem that I already have with it, which is that it is basically, you know, just an old song remade. Of course, that is not the entire song, but the first hook is obviously the hook that we had from Without Me. And it just kind of goes on with the same flow. But, you know, I thought at first maybe he does this in a very clever way, in a way that he kind of spins that old style that he had, the old song, interpolates it in some way, and kind of has a new spin on it. And it is, in a sense, what he does. And I don't want to hate on the song completely, because I still listen to it. It's a bop. You can't lie about that. But still, I think the underlying problem is that he's too much clinging onto the older version of himself. Now, I know this was apparent because this new album was called The Death of Slim Shady, and Slim Shady is his old alter ego, and so in a way he's already kind of prophesizing that because he put that name in the album title. But maybe you could have thought that from the title he's kind of departing from that old self and reinventing himself a little bit. Now, of course, he's reinvented himself quite a bit over the years. New Eminem, ever since, you know, Recovery, is something that a lot of people don't like, or you know, greet, or kind of like just really dislike. So it's always been a new Eminem version. But with The Death of Slim Shady, he's kind of reviving that old Slim Shady persona, even if it is by killing it off. Now, he also dropped a music video to this, which is also kind of like a newer version of the Without Me video, which in a way I think is funny. You know, in a way it's funny to see him, you know, slip into that Superman suit again, and him and Dre being Batman and Robin, and we have this older version of him, so the Slim Shady version, so basically the younger version of himself, be side by side with the new Eminem in this video, which I also think, on the one hand, is pretty creative, and you can see the kind of the joke in that. But in a sense, it is still using that old persona to make people like the track. And the track is doing pretty well, you know, better than I thought it would. I thought it would just be a single that kind of goes under the radar. Maybe it is that, you know, old nostalgic feeling of the hook. Maybe it is something like that that people gravitate to. But then again, you could just listen to Without Me, but maybe it's just a newer spin so that people don't have to replay Without Me 1,000 times. So in this video then, it goes on, which has me kind of worried, because in the video, and I don't want to take this for, you know, being the prediction of this album, but in that video you can see the Slim Shady version and the old Eminem version, the new Eminem version, the one he is right now, kind of, you know, unite and kind of fuse, and at the end he's a mix of both. And maybe this is kind of, this doesn't mean anything, or it's a precursor for the album that we're going to have both sides of Eminem on this new record. So the Slim Shady version and also the new Eminem version. And I mean, that would be for a lot of people that don't like the new Eminem version and they kind of want the old Slim Shady back. Maybe that's a good sign, because that means he's bringing some old styles back, even though I really doubt that. There is a reason why he left that behind. But also it could mean that he's again very much clinging onto that old, you know, self of his. And that is where I see the main problem. I mean, you know, we always talk about Eminem being this legend that he still is and nobody can take away from him. But, you know, he's still using that old persona and using that old success to sell his new music. And even if the, you know, newer albums that he's dropped could kind of go without, you know, Slim Shady. I mean, we're talking about Revival, about Kamikaze, about Music to Be Murdered By. It each had its own creative twist to it, and it each could be a good album on its own, even though they're not really very good albums. Now he's going back to the Slim Shady persona. It's kind of like a step back, maybe a recognizing that it didn't really work for him of putting out new music that was just newer Eminem, but now he has to go back and resort to using his old self, his old influence, the reason why people respect him and the reason why he became a legend, to sell this new music. Now, does he need to sell music? It's Eminem, we're still gonna listen, obviously, but maybe as a means to stay relevant. And for someone at Eminem's point, there is the question of should he retire? And I want new Eminem music as much as the next guy, but I just don't want to see his legacy go down this way, where we can kind of, you know, in 10 years say, wow, he was a legend, but then he just tried to stay relevant by reviving these old things of his career that, you know, then just didn't really work and just became, you know, kind of like unimportant at some point. Now, when it comes to what he's saying on the song, he's kind of like comparing this portal of 2002 to now 2024, saying like, what would my old self say? It's all gay, stuff like that, which is kind of funny. And he's, you know, kind of pretending that this is a chase in the video. Also, he had this one bar about Megan Thee Stallion that probably made the most impact that a lot of people talked about, where he said, if I was to ask for Megan Thee Stallion if she would collab with me, would I really have a shot at a feat? Which is funny because she got shot in the foot and feature, you know. Still, it's like, yeah, there's not really a crazy bar that you would expect from an Eminem to be this controversial thing. So I'm really hoping the best for this album. I just hope that this album isn't clinging on to older Slim Shady personas just to kind of stay relevant and be interesting. I want it to be an interesting album on its own. And I know that we're probably not in for that because the title of the album is already The Death of Slim Shady. But still, I still have a little bit of hope. And maybe this was just a single to, you know, kind of prepare us. And this was a single to be like, that was the Slim Shady style with the, you know, kind of newer worked on version for Without Me. But now we're heading into the album. Maybe the single isn't even on the album. And we're going to have some original music by, you know, totally original music, what I mean by that. But yeah, let's see how this all turns out. I'm excited. It should be dropping this summer. We just don't know when. Summer's around the corner. For some people, it's already here. So let me know what y'all think about this. Are you as worried about this new album as I am after the single? But I still have some hope. As I said, the song is not bad. It's just the fact that it uses a lot of that old, you know, nostalgic feeling that we have when we listen to older Eminem. But let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below.
If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.